If you are a solo real estate agent, maybe doing 2 to 4 deals a month, but you're not trying to chase fame, you're not trying to be the craziest Instagram influencer, but maybe you want to scale. Maybe you're trying to hit that 5, 6 plus deals per month. Maybe you're chasing freedom, leverage, consistency. If that's you, then this video is for you. And if it's not, if you're kind of low scale, you're not trying to actually implement anything new, then you should click off this video. But you've probably thought, should I get a videographer? I used to be a real estate videographer. I get it. I've been there. I've been making content for the past decade on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, everything. But what if I told you that the videographer route that every single agent, once they get a little bit of scale, maybe you're on a monthly retainer or you just do your listing videos. What if I did tell you that that was the wrong way to go? I want to have an open-ended conversation. So if I have my permission to be open and honest and view my experiences, then I hope that you guys can have open eyes and open ears as well. So the first thing we're going over, there's obviously cost, speed, control, output, trust, and ROI. Obviously, we have those about 6 things to go over, but I want to give you guys a comparison to just have your mind open at the beginning of this. A luxury video is at a very low $500. As a very low $500, an average luxury video nowadays that converts is anywhere between $1,000 to $1,500. If we compare that to a DIY video, apart from the one-time investment that you make on maybe some equipment, your phone, iPhone gimbal, tripod, one of those little mics, literally, again, per video basis is $0 to $50. It's a one-time investment. Now, speed. 1 to 3 weeks to give you a fully furnished video. Maybe you have someone that says, I deliver in 24 hours. If you have someone saying that they're going to deliver you a high-quality luxury video in 24 hours and not at least 48 or 72, then they are rushing something, not doing a proper process, because I know the time it takes, and especially if someone is running a real business, it can take longer for a good video. But if we're out here creating our own content, you can literally publish it same day or next day. But for a solo agent like you probably feel like sometimes content can be a full-time job. And I get that. It feels like that literally sometimes for me. I do not always have the exact process dialed in because of my life, whatever I want to do. If I'm being stubborn, I'm a guy. So, ladies out there, I'm sure you understand. All right, so next we are going under is control, which is outsourced. So most real estate videographers will not let you ever change the music, change an edit, anything like that. Because your real estate, you want to portray it yourself and your real estate in a certain way. But most videographers, again, without charging, are not going to give you a revision, whether you want a song change, anything like that. A lot of them will tell you, hey, this is going to be the song, or they just give you the video and you're like, yeah, this song's okay. Kind of sounds like a little lo-fi beat, but it's whatever. And with yourself, it's 100% you. In the beginning, you're going to be looking at trends. You're going to be looking at these videos. You're going to literally see what works on Instagram and twist it around to how you can make the video. That's how I found one of my most viral videos, is I found a trend, and now that video, any day now, should be at 100,000 views. I think it's at like 90,000 right now. And I literally just copied a trend that I saw a realtor did about, again, 50 to 100K at the time. And I caught the trend decently early, not anything crazy. And then I twisted it because I saw it worked for a realtor. That means I know that it can work in real estate for me targeting agents. One guy targeted to agents and other people. I'll pop the video up right now.
Losses to the neck, but now I'm trophied up. I'm saying like bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam. Bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam. Bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam.
Obviously, it was targeting realtors, people touring homes. Here's my video.
Losses to the neck, but now I'm trophied up. I'm saying like bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam. Bing, bop, boom.
What I did was twisting it, targeting agents. So I saw that it worked in the real estate niche. That means I knew that it would work for me. So I used a proven aspect for my own video, but when you're using a videographer, you're kind of trusting that they know what they're doing, and most don't. But for luxury videos, you're maybe doing one a month because maybe you're not doing as many listings as you were hoping for this year. I've heard that from a ton of realtors. I've been on like tens of calls just like this month. And I've been talking to agents, and 9 out of 10 aren't succeeding right now, at least to where they want to be. And with your output, 1 to 3 a week. Like, honestly, like, you guys should be posting 5 to 7 reels per week. You can easily, with no effort, post 1 to 3 times per week with 0 effort. But to be consistent and grow on Instagram, 5 to 7 times a week is the minimum. But you can do that. Again, the videographer, unless you're going to batch record a whole day, which might cost you $5,000 to $10,000 for your month's worth of marketing, you can spend 1 to 3 days, get all of the content you need, and start posting using proven prompts, reels, trends that you've seen. Now, here we're going on to trust. So, the thing is about professional videos is that it's glossy, but it's distant. Whenever someone sees a professionally made video, and what it actually is happening is in their brain, you're getting this sales trigger response that when something is high quality, what is it usually? An ad. You're usually being sold to. But the thing is, when you're making it real and relatable, still successful content, but real and authentic, using your phone, using native Instagram fonts, that's when people are actually going to stick around and see what you have to say because they believe you're going to truly provide them value. Now let's finish this up with ROI. It's hard to track because what most realtors are doing is only hiring the videographer for the one listing. Now, 9 out of 10 times, the realtor is not, unless the client brings it up, which usually they won't, the realtor never usually asks, hey, where did you actually find us from? Did you actually see the videos that we made about this, or were you scrolling on Zillow? Did the realtor kind of show you this property? Those are the questions you need to be asking, especially when you're investing like this, is did your video make a difference? Every single agent that sells a home, I tell them, ask the buyers or the agent, whatever, ask them. Not did they come from the video? Because most of your buyers and people, they won't actually come from a video, but the video helps influence their decision and build trust. So any new clients you get, any houses that you sell, ask the client, the buyer, either on the opposite end or the person coming to you, have you seen my content? Not which piece got you here, but have you seen it? That's the important part because you built trust. And again, it's hard to track unless someone literally says, I sold this house from an Instagram reel, which is not impossible. By no means am I saying it's impossible, but is it uncommon, and will the realtor usually find out that information? They usually don't. But when you're kind of, taking everything in your own hands for now, your DMs are, again, you're seeing your DMs fill up. You're getting comments. You're seeing the people that genuinely want to engage with you. Plus, you can get referrals. That's the great thing about content, is even if you have a friend or a client, that it's like an unlimited referral loop. Instead of actually having to get a client and then them referring you to someone else, you don't even have to do business. They could just be a random follower and then give you a referral because you're their favorite agent that makes content in their local area. That's like an unlimited referral bucket because you will still get referrals. People will give referrals who have never even worked with you. but just because they trust you from your content. DIY wins at every level. That matters for an agent in your position. Now, maybe you're making high-end luxury and you're like, hey, I think this is going to kind of devalue my brand. I'll be honest, probably most of your videos that you made haven't actually brought you clients. They kind of just like get likes and, kind of sit there. I'd say everyone has a starting point. And if you want to start on Instagram doing it yourself, maybe you're high-end enough to where you can film it yourself, but then hand the rest of the stuff to maybe an editor or something like that, to where maybe you don't have to do with it. A friend, a VA, maybe you get an assistant and they start editing your content. But try it yourself before investing into the videographer. I'll go with frequency over. Now, am I saying that you should get professional photos? Unless you're an agent with your own camera that knows how to take photos, photos are, for what you're getting, your commission, photos are relatively budget friendly, depending on who you go with. You can find someone who wants to do your listing photos for $250 to $600. Really, you just have to find the person. But with your videos, it's a little harder. But with your videos, that is the aspect where you can do a lot of the marketing yourself. And your photos aren't just good for Zillow. Save those for testimonials in the future. Use them to make Instagram polls so that people can reach out to you. One of the things that I'll do is literally from your old listing photos that you have, create a 3 to 5 story poll list. Take the best 3 features of the home, post those photos on 3 separate Instagram stories, up on the header, because you'll have your photo, your poll. But then the question you want to ask is, like, is this an appealing feature to you? And then be like a yes or no poll. And then have that for about 2 to 3 key features of the home. And then on the last one, show again one more best feature, or the photo of the home from the drone shot or the front of the house. And then say, are you looking at a model? Would you look at, does this home model something that you would be looking for? Make that as a yes, I am, or no thanks poll, and DM the people that say yes, that's what they're looking for. Say, hey, I appreciate you for following. I saw you commented on that poll. Unless it was a misclick, LOL. What is your must-have feature for like the next home that you're looking to move into? Because maybe they have that feature now, maybe they saw it on the poll, but it's something that's going to get that conversation started, because that's what we're here for, is conversations, to build conversations. Jordan Peterson has I believe it's rule number 4 from his 12 rules for life. I have it pulled up right here. It's compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. Just because you think the craziest people have the craziest videographers and media teams doesn't mean that just because you're someone who's starting out in social media, maybe not in business, but in social media, you don't have to start off with someone's like media team they've trained for 6 months, because they probably started on their own. Don't look at what a $10 million, listing agent is doing with their business, with the whole team and a crew and a drone team. Look at what you did last week. Did you post? Did you stay consistent? Did you even show up? If the answer is yes, then you're winning, and that is the real growth. So here we're going to go over 5 wins. Because for everything that we're doing and that we're showing, we're being cost effective. We're not being cheap, we're being cost effective. Because there's nothing wrong with saving money. And I'm someone who usually does cut a check for speed. But what I want to tell you is that 90%, probably over 90% of all real estate videographers or average videographers do not actually know how to help you appear confident on camera, are not actually using proven scripts that they've had success with on your content. So I want you to learn that yourself in the beginning so that once you maybe do bring on someone or you do make that investment, maybe you've done it before and you've kind of been burned by a mediocre videographer. You should learn what works yourself first and then hire someone who knows and who's worked with the best. Number 2 is creative control. I'm sorry, this is kind of like a little, sketchy, but creative control. Maybe you've received a video before where you just didn't like, not that they weren't creative, but, maybe it just wasn't all there. You, when you make your own content, have creative control. Now, should I think that just because you think a post isn't quality, that doesn't mean you shouldn't post it. That means you should post it, test it, see if your audience likes it, and if not, you can try it one more time, and if it doesn't do well again, then you don't have to make that idea again. But then you won't have to spend $1,500 on, or $3,000 on 2 videos you're testing just to know that. You can do it for free yourself. Number 3 is consistent posting. A lot of people cannot stay consistent. And it's because they have the limiting belief. A lot of realtors cannot stay consistent. And maybe that's you, because you think you need the best videographer to be able to create the content that you want. When in reality, again, you don't need to. Again, that's what I do. I'd rather teach someone to fish than just throw them a 12-pound salmon. Yes, that feeds them for a little bit, but they'll always keep coming back. And I don't think everyone desires to just keep coming back. They want to actually learn it themselves so that they're not always as reliant on someone else. Number 4, it builds confidence. A lot of times the videographer doesn't actually know how to help you show up on camera. They don't teach you to be straight, not move your hands everywhere, to keep them in kind of this body frame right here, to use simple gestures and not being like, ooh, look at that. But it also builds confidence in that you know what you're doing as well. Because who's going to create the better content? 2 new realtors who think they have it all knowing what's up and they're going to do the latest crazy trend. And they're like, hey, we saw this, let's try to recreate it. They post it and it does 800 views. But then you have Ryan Serhant, who actually started creating content by himself. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. And then once he knew what started to work for him is when he then added TV shows, Netflix. He knows what works as well. But he also then added pros. He wasn't a new agent closing 2 deals a month and then bringing in Netflix. The last one is that it builds trust. I apologize for my handwriting. I literally failed spelling and I wasn't good at cursive. And this is one of my first times using an Apple Pencil. But something happens when you build trust, especially when you're doing it yourself. This goes back to the authenticity that when you get high quality, people may be like, oh my gosh, the video's so good. You know what? But it's all realtors who follow you. It's kind of all your mutual friends. It's not new people finding out your page. They're like, oh my gosh, this is such a crazy video. I'm so glad you're doing this. But it's not actually bringing in new people and new leads, which is what you need. You don't need just all your friends. It's just another SOI game. But it builds trust, not just impressions. A good video can do a lot of good impressions, but again, if it's not building trust that you know the areas that you sell in, you know the locations, you know how to actually serve your audience and serve your ideal client, then you know what? Just showing off a house doesn't really build that much trust, and it doesn't really talk to your ideal client. You're just in the mood to sell this home. Mark Manson's rule number 1 from 3 rules of life is radical responsibility. You don't need anyone's permission. You own your story and your content. That is how you tell it. Mark Manson's rule number 3 from 3 rules for life is radical growth. Every time you film, you grow. You get sharper. You get more confident. You don't wait for content, you become the content. I'm going to write down a Stoic philosophy quote that I just remembered, and it really sums up a massive topic. Remember, you will die. I am not the person who wants to live with regrets. May there be a couple things I wish I did? Sure. But business is your income. Business is the way to change you and your family's line, your family line forever. And if you want to be the person that's still stuck in the old ways, then go ahead, be my guest. But you have to remember that all of the agents that are telling you like, oh, do mailers, do farming, that's like the current old methods. Because guess what? The old realtors got beat out, 30, 40 years ago. They got beat out by someone younger doing something better. Maybe for the past 20 years, farming mailers have been it. That's what beat all the old people who put the ads inside of newspapers. Because no one, in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, no one knew agents really. Usually in the 50s or 60s. What they actually did was find you in a newspaper. And then they called the real estate agent. But guess what turned up next? Door knocking. Say, screw it, let's go out. Become the magazine. Send mailers. Then obviously referrals are a natural part of business, in any line of business. But those old realtors who thought they were going to kill it forever with ads inside of magazines got beat out by do-it-yourself mailers, door knocking, and cold calling. That's what it's been like for the past about 20, 30 years. But now we're in a point where AI, automation, and social media is what is going to replace all of those methods. And if you want to be one of those people that didn't take advantage of it, be my guest. But again, mailers are not going to work forever. Will they work for a while longer? You can stick to your 1 to 2 deals a month. Go for it. But if you actually want to succeed as a solo agent, then you have to mix it up. You have to change it up. Some people don't know that a personal brand, they're like, okay, what the hell is a personal brand? What does that actually mean? I hear the word thrown around everywhere. Your personal brand is your reputation. That's literally what it is. Because what? People talk about you to people who you don't know. That's what social media is. People who don't know you find you and make an assumption. But let's make those assumptions good assumptions. I want you to treat every single video you make like a first date. I don't want you to overthink it. Nope. But I want you to show up. I want you to be present. And that means you're going to find I looked it up, there's not a U in rhythm. One video per day times 90 days equals growth. I have not seen one agent who has posted consistently for 30 to 90 days who has not seen success. I give out a lot of free value myself. I'm going to shout out one of my guys, Lance. He's a real estate agent in Orlando, Florida. Is he using everything that I teach and I show agents every single day? He's not implementing everything. He doesn't have a full system or funnel or proper call to actions yet. But what he did is I gave him video concept ideas. I showed him what to do. He's using the right fonts, trying to get the right style of videos. And maybe for 2 weeks, he was posting daily, 3 weeks, averaging maybe 300 to 1,000 views. He had some ones that got over 1,000 views. But just a week ago, he had a video that did over 60,000 views. Took him 5 minutes to make that video. The amount of leads that would have come from that video if he had a proper funnel set up and a proper caption formatted would have been insane. He still got he still got followers from it, but it shows you that at the end of the day, you need quality, but you want a quantity amount of quality. But to get a ton of quality, you need to find your normal quality. So how do you just find your quality for you and your audience? You have to post quantity. And that's what Lance just did. This is a new quote. Don't build a $1,000 video when you haven't built a $0 habit. Be real, be consistent, know your local area, as in create 70% location content, 20% actual real estate, 10% personal. Be consistent, show up, be authentic, and that's what's going to get you actual closings compared to just hiring the most luxury videographer. If you want help with what kind of DIY content to post, go ahead. You can feel free to at least click the subscribe button, because at least 90% of you who view these videos aren't subscribed. But if you want my one-on-one help on how to grow this for you, and if you're a brand new agent, at bare minimum, close a deal within your first 90 days on Instagram, with intention, then go ahead and you can book a one-on-one call with me down in the description below. That's where I'm going to actually help you scale. And if you're a more seasoned realtor, that 1 in 90 days could actually be 2 to 3 new deals per month and actually get you that 5, 6, 7 plus to what you're aiming for. I show agents how to close deals on Instagram without using silly trends, but proven tactics that I've used after my past decade of content creation, working for the most luxury real estate agents in my area, and building my own personal brand. I literally average as a low 60 followers a day, up to, again, last week there was like 5 days I did 100 followers a day. The exact tactics and funnels that I show agents is literally what I use myself. And that's how I know it works, and that's why you're watching this video. If you want the help, you can click the one-on-one call down below. If you're struggling with a lead magnet, you can buy my custom relocation guide, and it actually shows you how to create the funnel itself for $27. There's free value that comes with that, so you can click that in the description. So if I want to leave you with choosing one of these, if you are in the right bucket, a one-on-one call might be what you need. If you're broke, and that's okay, we can still figure something out, but maybe setting up a proper, lead magnet funnel for $27 with a $600 value, you'll get my beacons set up, plus the relocation guide template. And if nothing I said really is going to make you make a decision today, then I'm going to continue making this content completely for free and give you guys out the craziest game in real estate video that not even the top coaches on YouTube and Instagram are showing you right now. Then at least hit that red subscribe button. I love you all. I will see you guys in the next video.